Morning everyone, I'm going to sow some brassica seeds today. I'm in the Polytunnel and I've had my little hotbox on the soil for a few weeks now, just to warm things up. Now, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I sowed this radish. Radish is also a brassica. The fact that that's germinated and is starting to grow tells me that the soil's warming up. I don't need a thermometer for that. But anyway, I know the soil is 8 degrees and brassicas will germinate at 7 or 8 degrees. So, what I'm going to be doing is, you'll just see me making a little drill. I'll put the label in, doing broccoli in this first one. What I'm going to do is split it into 4. Right, and over the next 4 weeks, the same day, I'll come and sow a little bit on each week. Now, I could sow these at home in a propagator. I'll get wonderful germination. I'll have plants within literally 10 days potted on, growing on strong. But what I've found in the past with that is that you tend to get a harvest all at once later on in the season. All over 2 weeks you might have a dozen cabbages you've got to use. So I like to do it this way. Sow them over 4 weeks. It spreads my harvest out for me. I get to pick and choose my strongest plants, and I also stay away from soil-borne diseases. If you can, you should never accept a brassica from somebody else, a brassica plant. Never go and buy one. This is where you introduce club root to your plot. Club root, what that means is that the roots swell to such a point that it takes away all the small feeder roots. The plant can't feed as well, and therefore it won't grow as well. You can neutralise that a little bit with lime, but in general, if you've got club root, you're not going to get very good performance. So that's all I've done there. It's just sown them. Incidentally, these are all sort of Premier seeds, cheap as chips. You get so many in them, it's ridiculous, really is. So I've done one row there. I'll move it over a space, draw another drill, and get my next one in. Cauliflower, this one. So again, split it up into 4 for the 4 weeks, and I'll sow the cauliflower. It's ridiculous, the price of these seeds, 99p. I mean, this cauliflower, there's 500 seeds in this one, and the next one I'm doing, the cabbage greyhound, it's 2,200 seeds. I mean, it's almost rude not to buy them. So I will sow these over the next, say, 4 weeks in total. And I will start to overlap the brassicas. What I mean by that is, where I've got this extra space here, in maybe 2 weeks I'll add in another cabbage. So I'm getting an overlap all season from the different brassica plants. This I think is wonderful. So there we go, 3 brassicas sown. Just flick the soil back over the top, give them a little bit of water. Bob's your uncle. Next week I'll do that patch, the week after, and so on and so forth. That's it, brassicas seed sowing. I'll be going up home shortly, and I'll add a little bit to this video at home. Okay, see you in there, about half an hour. So back at home now. I did this whole piece to camera yesterday about sowing sweet peas in root trainers and also some broad beans. And then when I finally got in and took the film off the camera and put it on the computer, realised the whole thing was out of focus. So there you go, you live and you learn. So I'm going to talk about them again. Root trainers. What they are, these are a book type one, and they just clip together very simply, and you fill them with compost and you grow your seeds in them. Now, the benefit of these things is that the roots will grow up down these grooves. So you'll find when you take the plant out, unfold it and take the plant out, the roots are all heading downwards, and they all head out the bottom here. There's a hole here, probably getting on for 1 centimetre by 2 centimetres. The roots all head out the bottom, you've got no soil around them, they dry out and they break off, they become brittle. That's air pruning. And the rest of the good roots stay in the bottom there, waiting, ready to go. When you take them out, you take your plug out and plant it in the ground, green side up, those roots are ready to go, and off the plant goes. That's the benefit of the root trainer. I use these for sweet peas, for broad beans, sweet corn, runner beans, French beans, those sorts of things. They're absolutely brilliant, and I've just replaced this set last year actually, because my last ones were so broken up after about, I don't know, 10 years of use. But anyway, in the meantime, I bought another one to try, a great big thing, also a root trainer, and I've used this for a couple of years, but to be honest with you, I haven't really found its best suited use yet, because it's very difficult. You can see how narrow the cells are in those. Very difficult to get the plants out of, and you end up shoving pencils down them and all sorts, and I haven't found the best way to use them as yet. So I won't recommend them at the minute, but the book type root trainers I definitely will. Right, I want to get some beetroot on the go now. I sow these in modules, and in groups of 2, 3 or 4 around there. A massive Premier Seeds direct bag. God, anyone, I think I'm pushing their products. So doesn't matter if I get more in, I'll just cut them off as they start growing. I'll try to be a bit more careful. Always trying to rush for some reason. Anyway, these are bolt hardy. I'll grow them in modules, so you get bunches of them growing in the soil, and I'll weed them out as they grow, so that I'm left with sort of 2 or 3 per clump, and let them grow to maturity. As they grow, you harvest as they grow, and you harvest out the bigger ones, twist them out the ground, and let the others grow on to maturity. It's a great method. I must say I owe Charles Dowding for this. This is his idea, this multi-sowing, and well, at least it's where I got it from anyway. I believe in credit where credit's due. If you get an idea from someone, then thank them for it. So thank you, Charles. This other half tray, by the way, is Chosia beetroot, and they're kind of a palish pink colour with concentric rings around it. Very attractive when you cut into it. So that's it with the beetroot. Just cover them with a little bit of compost, and I'll be able to plant them out next month as ready plug plants, ready to go. There we go, another job done. So they can go over there, and I'm just going to sow some, if we can find the seeds, there they are, some more celeriac, just as backups. I've already got some growing, and I'll show you those in a minute. I'll pan around and show you what I've got growing. I hate these plastic bags. Right, so I've got to be careful with these, there's thousands of them. So, and I should just let these grow and grow and grow, and won't even touch them until the leaves are almost the size of an old 5p piece. It just gives me extra options. I have already got some celeriac, as I say, but doesn't hurt to have more have spares. So a quick label. There we go, job done. Just water that in the beetroot, and then I'll show you what I've got behind the camera right now. Okay, in the beet propagator over in this corner we've got some aubergines. They're looking a little sorry for themselves, but they're growing and they will grow. And as I pan round here, I've got some sets of root trainers here. The ones covered in newspaper or sweet peas, and the ones uncovered are broad beans. And we come down to this area at the front here, this green in the middle. These are all flower seeds, and it's the first batch of many that I will do this year. And then just beyond those are some rows of lettuce seeds. So that's that first part. So bottom left are the lettuce seeds, and just behind it we have some ishikura, which are the Japanese spring onions, bunching onions as they call it. I'm panning over in the middle of the frame now is celeriac. They are coming along slowly, but I've done the backups just in case. And then over in this corner we've got 2 trays of peppers and the water bottles in there. That's fairly interesting there, because I water the hot plants in the hot propagator. I use the heated water as well, heat the water and the plants and the soil, and water with the right temperature, so to speak. Right, centre of the frame and over by the window is the sweet peas. I had a bit of a disastrous start to them this year. I've got them all planted up and covered in newspaper, and I put them in the kitchen to germinate. Unbeknownst to myself, there was a couple of slugs hiding within the compost, I think, and they've decimated that lot, which is why I've sown a second lot. So anyway, we've got a second lot on. In the corner are some giant onions. These plants were given to me by a neighbour. I'm going to grow them on hopefully this year. And then in front of that blue tray there's a lot of onions. There's brun shallots, and then there's a very small tray right in the front, just next to the strawberries, of the Japanese, or the Chinese, sorry, green onions. I'm panning over a bit here. We've got some Bedfordshire champignon onions, so they're your normal globe onions. And that's just what's on the bench. So that's it for today. Join me on the next adventure tomorrow. See you now.